Let me ask you a question. In your counseling, when you talk to your friends, what do they have to say about monogamy? Yeah,
Monogamy, yeah. How about that
monogamy.
one-on-one thing? What's the word out?
Well, some of my friends have monogamous relationship. They date one person, and sometimes it's difficult, but once they get to know that person, they'd like to have that one-on-one relationship with them.
Oh, yeah? Well, let me ask you this. What about you? Do you believe in monogamy?
Definitely. I've always had a monogamous relationship.
So you've always had a monogamous relationship.
Yes.
So you're telling me you never dated a guy who was like a ladies' man and he wanted his cake and ice cream and cookies and...
I stayed away from people like that. And I advise my friends to do the same. Because this day and age, as we were saying before, it's really not safe to be dating around.
Yeah? What do you think about that, Ben? Let's go back to your heyday. I know you and I have been together 12 years now. But back in the day, as they say, what were your feelings about monogamy and one-on-one relationships?
Well, I wanted to believe that I could be with one woman and be happy, but when you're hanging out with the guys and you want to be cool and you have that playboy type title, I mean, it was hard. And at that time, before I met you, I guess I wasn't really ready for that kind of a relationship. So, I mean, I played around a little bit, but after we got together, dear, I mean, my whole life changed.
All right, so, well, I'm going to share some of my experiences.
Okay.
Talking about male-female relationships. Before I met Ben, coming up in Chicago and being in the modeling industry, I got a chance to meet a lot of so-called professional men, ball players, actors, the whole gamut, wealthy businessmen. And my experiences with these guys, and I mean just dating, not going to bed with them, but their whole theory was, one's not enough. I mean, they felt like they were successful and they should be able to have whomever they wanted, whenever they wanted them.
Well, let me interject this. I mean, when you all made it available to them like that, I mean, because of in a lot of situations, if a guy's a ball player or an actor or, if he has that title, he has money, I mean, it's made available to him. So why should they settle for any one female or?
Okay, all right.
See, that's the attraction. That's the temptation they have.
Yeah.
They have money. They have more than one car, so they think it's okay. And most of the women, they're at fault for that because they throw themselves at the men, I should say. But that's why I find it very important to have higher perspective. Just concentrate on. If you want to meet someone serious, don't go for their car because their car don't define who they are.
You hear that, ladies?
That's a good point.
Higher perspective.
That's a good point. But it sounds to me, Ruth, that what you're saying is if you feel good about yourself, if you have high self-esteem,
Exactly.
then you're really not going to be attracted to those kinds of guys.
Exactly. And most of the girls that are attracted to them, they're not really looking for a serious relationship. And the ones that are, they just seem to be they're making the mistake of looking at the facade, And
Let me ask you another question, though. They go in with the intent of just having some fun.
Exactly.
Okay, but the thing that I find with a lot of women, okay, they say, well, we'll just, date and hang out or whatever. But then after a while, they want to get serious.
Exactly.
See, and, I guess they forget about how it started and what what the idea was.
Yes, I mean, you meet a guy at a club and he was dancing and having fun and he was talking to your friend and you didn't mind. He was talking to other girls. He's probably came in with a couple girls.
Right.
And you got his number anyway. You went out with him and all of a sudden you want a serious relationship. That's
see?
not realistic.
Happens all the time.
So now we're talking male-female communication. So is what's going on, we're both putting on these facades for each other in the beginning,
Exactly.
and we're not actually putting our cards on the table and being upfront about what we're really looking for.
Exactly, and that's the mistake.
That's the mistake. But then we need to go into why we do that. Why would a woman tell a guy who's out there mingling and being single and all that, that's cool, I can go along with that, when in the back of her mind she's thinking, I want to catch this guy, I'm out here to hook a fish,
Exactly.
I want to get married, right?
Exactly.
So we go out there and we pretend we're hanging loose. But in reality, our minds are setting this guy up.
Exactly. Most women have the intention of changing a person.
All right now.
And that's unrealistic. You can't change someone unless they're ready to be changed.
That's right.
And when you're not the one, he knows. And when you are, he has to make the effort to change his lifestyle, and it has to be his decision only. And most women, they pretend they're playing a game. That's what it is. They're playing his game.
Wow.
They know the only way to get his attention
Yes.
is to do what he seemed to like, and then they assume that way I could change his mind. And
Wow.
most of the time,
And
that's
she's definitely right, because I mean, the first thing they think is, well, you know, I'll go along with him, but he's gonna love
Right.
what I got for him, and I mean, they have these unrealistic
and
expectations.
it's misleading.
Okay, so does it go back to that song Diana Ross recorded a long time ago where she sings, I'm gonna make you love me? Is it that kind of thing?
Yes.
And we as females really feel that we can make someone love us.
And that's not.
Can we make you fall in love with us, Ben, if you don't have that little spark already?
I mean, there has to be something there. I mean, love. I guess it's been said that it's possible, but I've never found it to be.
Really?
I mean, if I'm into a female, then of course I'm going to give her my undivided attention. But if I'm just kind of playing around or having fun, I mean, that means I got a whole bunch of other people that I'm playing around having fun with too.
Okay,
So
and and if you're the kind of guy who only have fun with people you're attracted to, and one of the girls are serious and they're they come up with this approach where I'm not playing, maybe you might look at them at a different perspective. If most women did that, they just told the truth.
That's right.
Then
Good
that
point.
person who's playing will, say, well, she's different, and you
Good
never know.
point.
But if you play the game and you're no different from the other girls, you don't stand out.
And believe it or not, we do want a challenge. I mean, when it's too easy, I mean, you're just like everybody else, just like she said. But when there is somebody different, the challenge is, hey, now she's different.
All right, I have this question I want to ask you both. When you meet somebody, and maybe you've had a date or two, and you decide you really like this person, and let's say, Ruth, Ben asked for your phone number, you gave it to him, and then he said to you, I'll call you.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, he says, I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay.
So you're at home, you're waiting by the telephone, tomorrow comes, the next day comes, the next day, and it's turned into a week. What did you mean by that, Ben? You said you called, and you didn't call.
That's a story I told a whole lot of other women before I met her, or probably the same time I met her, the same day, the same night, or whatever. It's just, again, unless somebody's outstanding in your mind, I mean, it's just a game you play.
But you said you were going to call. It
So
came from your
what?
lips.
So-
Ruth, haven't you had that experience? They told you they were going to call, and they said, I'll call you tomorrow.
Exactly.
So we communicated that. We understood that
So
to
that
mean
we
we
would
were
get
going
a
to get
phone
that
call.
phone call tomorrow.
Exactly.
But in your mind, you were thinking what?
As I said, we say it to women all the time.
So it's just to fill some space.
Well, let's put it like this. Every man likes to feel like he has his game tight. You talk to a female to see if you can really do what we say, get over.
Oh, wow.
And, again, unless somebody is on your mind, you most likely won't call them.
Ladies, I hope you're hearing this. I hope you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. Ben just said, when they tell you they're going to call, don't believe it. I mean, if you get the call, consider it good. But don't sit around by the telephone waiting for that phone call, because it's probably not going to come for maybe another 2 weeks. Huh, Ben?
Well, I said, if we're interested, we're going to call. But I mean, even then, we might take our times. We don't want to, rush into it too fast, because we don't want to, want you all to think that you're too special until we want you to feel special.
Oh, or you met someone else that you'd rather call.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
That's
and that's what most women should think. They shouldn't take it personal.
all right.
I
Nobody
usually,
said that, Ruth.
they shouldn't take it personally, because he's not the one. If you don't find the man that's head over heels for you, and is not going to call
Alright.
when he said he's going to
All
call,
right.
then you've saved a lot of time,
Gosh,
a lot of heartbreak.
I hope they hear you.
I think that's much more easily said than done.
Yes,
but,
it is.
Exactly.
but you are absolutely right. So for women out in our audience that really want to have a good relationship and know when that right relationship comes, you got to listen to what Ruth said, because what she's saying is so true. If you're not that special person for him, then 9 times out of 10, he's not going to call you right away. He really is.